if it's their own business.
But he says he's got big things coming, right?
That's what he says. So we'll see. So maybe we will get some sort of update. Maybe he'll sit down, or he could be on The View, and they could argue about what really happened to him.
Well, the ladies
they
just can't
they just can't get along.
Oh, I know,
I mean, they're just arguing every day about something. Bubba, you were also going to update us on Deion Sanders.
Yeah, Deion Sanders is having his second surgery in 4 weeks to remove blood clots from his leg and foot. He apparently is having problems with the big toe, the toe next to it, as well as both sides of his left calf.
Yeah, I know he had a really severe leg problem, but
Yeah.
what caused it? Is this a,
I don't know.
Didn't he have surgery on it last year?
He did, yeah.
This season?
It's blood clots now. So
Yeah.
they're saying that the potential that it might have to be amputated if they can't get all this.
Well, I know
squared
that
away.
was out there once
Right.
before, so I guess it's back in trouble again.
Yeah.
So,
I heard an update, and everybody was like, whoa, I think we can save his leg. But then you never know. I guess that's worst case scenario.
As a matter of fact, in this particular story from Yahoo News, they have, I guess it's a typo, they've said that he has problems and eventually had to be amputated due to blood clots.
Well, they've already got it cut off?
Yeah, I think they've got a typo there.
yeah, then they got a quote from one of the players he cut, said, good.
Well, now, I'm not up on all Deion Sanders, but he did have some toes amputated, didn't he? Or did he?
I think he's had one taken off.
Maybe that's what
last year.
that's what they're referring to, Bob.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Really? Is that true? I didn't know that.
I thought he did.
Yeah, I think you're right. If I remember the story, he's had all kind of problems.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Googling
related
Deion
to his
toes.
playing days or what the deal is.
Now back to the guy with the extra finger. If you lost a toe, could they take the extra finger and make it
Ooh.
some sort of toe? Maybe.
Might could.
Tip of it.
That'd be a long pinky toe.
Yeah.
I found a picture of Deion Sanders, but
No, you
it's
did
not good.
We're going to look at his foot.
He's got toes taken off.
Okay, well.
You don't want to see it?
I think
Sometimes
he's got
people
two
have toes.
There it
doesn't he?
Oh, man.
Oh, he lost the big one.
Oh, he lost the big
You
one.
need that big one, don't you?
Yeah.
For walking.
So that's why- that's why he
limps the way he does.
Yeah.
I've seen him
have that limp. I
thought he was just had a little swagger
I did too.
I didn't realize.
I thought he was doing that.
I thought he was a strut.
I thought it was kind of like that cowboy hat on. You know? Trying to be showing. I tell you what he's trying to do is get a roster that can beat somebody.
It's wild seeing these athletes who have such feet that are in such bad shape. LeBron James, and here it is before they took it off.
Oh, come on, hammer toe.
They overlap. Yeah, is that what that's called? Is that the hammer
It's
toe?
when it bends
Of course.
up like that. It's a hammer toe.
Yeah.
Jam it.
Why are you showing all these?
You jam it in
That's
your
what we're talking
shoes
about,
the whole
Greg.
time.
Wow.
Some people like feet, Greg.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it does say the
Not
remaining
weirdos.
It says the remaining 2 toes on that foot are hammer toes, which are unnaturally twisted and bothering you.
Yeah. You know, you couldn't have named it anything better.
I knew you were going to go there,
If
Greg.
you want to watch Greg light up like a
It
light,
looks like a hammer.
just mention hammer toe. I mean, he's just like somebody flipped a switch on.
Rick, any
Oh, he
deformity.
got hammer toe?
Rick, any deformity he's
Oh,
like.
he loves
They're
it.
about speedy what? Got a hammer toe. Yeah.
Why me again?
But why do they call it a
Setting up
hammer
with-
toe bent up like that? It doesn't seem like
Yeah,
it's
looks like a
nothing.
hammer. It's coming up.
Oh, they got all
It's coming up
kinds
to
of
hammer.
different ones.
Look.
Flat toe,
Oh,
mallet
hammer
toe,
toe,
hammer
Adler.
toe, curly toe.
Greg's got that curly toe.
Ooh, look at
He
the
does.
claw toe. Wow.
Yikes.
Greg's got web feet.
He does. You got to see him in the pool.
Not completely, just two.
Still.
Two toes on his
Swim
Still,
like a
weird.
dolphin.
Oh, I can fly in the water.
That's unreal.
Greg, you could
Like
make
a
some
fast
money.
boat.
You could make some money selling pictures of those feet.
Yeah.
You know, if the show ends, you could do that.
Maybe I will. If you see Greg on top of the water, it looks like he's just gliding along, but underneath he's digging.
Like a duck.
Greg makes life look easy, but he's digging. He's digging. Yeah, as he glides through it.
This is Hoosier Ag Today's Wednesday Midday Energy Market Update, brought to you by the Indiana Ethanol Producers Association, who remind you that homegrown bioethanol fuels our economy. Support our farmers and fill up with a higher octane fuel that's better for your engine, environment, and wallet. UNL88.com to find a station near you. Crude futures open lower today, but have rebounded on news of a 6 million barrel drop in stocks last week. 81.04 right now for crude, up a nickel. AAA's average Indiana prices at the pump for unleaded $3.90, jumping almost 7 cents. We're back at 1 year ago levels, and a 2-cent gain on average Indiana diesel, now $4.44. Indiana ethanol plant corn bids include $5.34 at Climbers, Rensselaer $5.31, Claypool biodiesel 75 cents over on nearby delivered beans. I'm Andy Eubank, Hoosier Ag Today, Indiana's Farm Network. celebrating champions at the Supreme Drive and an increased focus on research at the Purdue College of Ag. I'm Eric Pfeiffer. This is Hoosier Ag Today News, brought to you by the 2023 Farm Progress Show, August 29th through the 31st in Decatur, Illinois. Visit farmprogressshow.com for more information. The Supreme Drive was held Sunday evening at the Indiana State Fair. The Supreme Drive features all female breeding animals, including gilts, ewes, heifers, and cows, recognizing the best breeding stock Indiana has to offer. This year's Supreme Champion dairy cow belongs to Dylan Freeman from St. Joseph County.
It was just an extremely happy moment, especially when my sister was announced as Reserve Supreme before I was announced as Supreme.
Freeman and the other Supreme Champions are featured in a hat video at HoosierAgToday.com and on our social media channels at HoosierAgToday, presented by First Farmers Bank and Trust. As Dylan mentioned, the Freeman family had a good night as his sister Brianne had the Reserve Champion dairy cow. What was it like competing against his sister?
We don't really have a sibling rivalry. Me and her work together and manage our show cows, so we just happy for each other being able to both be out there and get something.
Now that his 4-H career is over, Freeman details what's next.
I'm planning to stay at our farm and manage our show cows and then run our row crop farm.
Also taking home banners Sunday night, Owen Heggie from Jasper County had the Supreme Champion gilt. Lily Williamson from Hamilton County had the Supreme Champion ewe. Grand Champion Percentage Doe, Grace Ellis, Johnson County. Grand Champion Full Blood Doe, Tegan Walker in Clinton County. And Supreme Champion Dairy Heifer, Ellie Bolenbacher from Marshall County. Again, check out the video, HoosierAgToday.com.
Come see what's next at Ag's biggest event, the 2023 Farm Progress Show, August 29th through the 31st. The 90-plus acre exhibit field features over 500 exhibitors. See the latest equipment from the nation's major and short line manufacturers and watch field demonstrations. Download the new app for exhibitors and the latest news. The 2023 Farm Progress Show in Decatur, Illinois. FarmProgressShow.com for more information and to purchase discounted tickets online.
Dr. Bernie Engel has been at the helm now of the Purdue College of Agriculture for just over a month, taking his new position as the Glenn W. Sample Dean on July 15th. Engel has been a Purdue faculty member for 35 years, so he's seen firsthand the dramatic rise in popularity and prestige the Purdue College of Ag has received in recent years. Most notably, the college rose to number 3 in the United States and number 5 in the world, according to QS World University rankings.
Part of the secret to being number 3 nationally, number 5 in the world, is having equally strong partners in engineering and in many, many other locations on campus. So, it's full speed ahead with all things research right now. So you probably have noticed that with the new leadership at Purdue, a very different emphasis maybe than in the past. Doesn't mean that students are not important, but we're going to spend a lot of time thinking about research.
Engel most recently served as Senior Associate Dean of Agricultural Research for the college. When we caught up at the State Fair earlier this month, he took a moment to brag on the College of Agriculture and its researchers.
106.1 sounds like an FM station, but that's also the dollars in millions that the College of Agriculture researchers secured this past year. Why is that important? Well, to do all the great things that you see coming out of Purdue Ag Research, we need resources. The state provides base resources, the university provides some base resources, but our federal partners, our industrial partners, and others who are part of that 106.1 make a huge difference in what we can do and the impact we have.
Hear my full interview with Engel on his priorities for the Purdue College of Ag at HoosierAgToday.com. I'm Eric Pfeiffer, Hoosier Ag Today, Indiana's Farm Network.
I'm Ryan Martin on Hoosier Ag Today with midday market and weather analysis brought to you by Louis Dreyfus and Clay Pool, currently paying 75 cents over the November futures for soybeans delivered through the rest of this month. Call with questions, 574-566-2113. On the grain markets today, nice little run to the upside led by soybeans right now. Wheat not really coming to the party today, but beans are the story. News, or rumors at least, that China's sniffing around. I've heard upwards of 420 million or 1,000 metric tons, and that is getting the market a little bit excited. Now, we're looking for flash confirmations here over the next few days, but it's been a nice little bump here.
We're We're celebrating our 50th season of Coach's Corner on WSLM Radio and ready to take you into the WSLM Sports Zone. Coach's Corner is your chance to get to know your local coaches, players, and staff of each local school and get the X's and O's before the next games. Join us on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. for the Red Hot Stove League for the latest from the Cincinnati Reds, and stay around for Coach's Corner. During the week, you'll also hear from IU and Purdue coaches, as well as updates from Indy Racing, NASCAR, and the Indianapolis Colts. You'll find us on WSLM 97.9 FM and WSLM 1220 AM, along with live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Be sure and follow us all season for a front row seat and a closer look at high school and regional sports.
We're heading down to McDonald's live for Coach's Corner, Season 51. Here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 51 of Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Nate Pearson. As usual, we're going to be doing some interviewing of our high school head coaches, and you know, it's a great privilege for me to be doing this for a third season. I'm glad to be sitting here in the seat, and we're actually back live from McDonald's. We've been in the studio for the last couple of years. We ended up down there during COVID, and we just kind of stuck that out for a little while, and McDonald's has asked us to come back, and we're happy to do that. And you know, we're gonna do our best to make another good season, and we're ready to get some football going. I know you guys have missed it, and so have I. And you know, tonight I'm joined right now by Coach Luke Dean. He's the head coach at Eastern of the Eastern Musketeers. Luke, how's your off season been, buddy?
Good. Things have gone well, and you know, getting back in the swing of things here with practice after school. It's been nice, and you know, it feels like we've been practicing for a while. We're chomping at the bit to get started.
You know, and that's one thing that. The off season is so torturing for me, because it's like I want to talk football. I don't want to get in front of you guys and see how things are going. And now that we're here, it's one of the best things, you know, and the highlight of my year is to finally get to start Coach's Corner. So, you know, you guys had a rough season last year, but looking at those games, you were in almost every one of those games. You know, and I feel like you guys have always been on the cusp of just really breaking out, and I think that you are heading in the right direction down there. What do you think is the best thing that you learned from last season?
Well, I think the main thing that we were young. You know, we started 9 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and you know, we weren't able to hang on to leads, and you know, we lost 2 games by 1 point, and 2 games by a touchdown, and you know, in a couple other games we didn't feel like we played very well. So,
right.
You know, we thought if the ball bounced our way, or you know, play here, play there, we could have won 5 or 6 games last year. And you know, the kids haven't forgotten that, and it's in the forefront of their mind, and you know, they're ready to come out and kind of redeem some of those games from last year. And,
right. You know, and it seemed like we talked about that every week. It's like you were just right there, and if this would have went this way or that would have went that way, and I feel like I said, you guys were just on the cusp of being a great football team last season.
Yeah, and you know, we got a lot of guys back, and you know, we're looking forward to it. You know, we returned 2 senior linemen that are going to be 4-year starters. We returned another junior lineman that's a 3-year starter. The other 2 up front are juniors that started last year. So we got an experienced group up there. We got our running back, Braden Jones, who rushed for over 1,300 yards last year.
It was an absolute beast.
Cody Bannett, our quarterback, threw for over 1,300 yards. He's back. You know, Garrett Drew is one of our top receivers. He's back. We picked up Caden Temple, who hasn't played for us for a few years. He's a good athlete, basketball kid. It's going to help fill the void of Andrew Adams that we lost last year, receiver and DB. You know, Reese Weidiger's another guy that's out. And we got another kid in, Chandler Dukes, you know, Christian Rusher. So we feel like we got some weapons there. We can throw the ball. We can run the ball. We got a good, experienced group up front, and you know, we're excited about what we have. And
now, has your coaching staff had any changes, or have you made any changes there? Or
yeah, we've had a couple changes. Z left and went back to Salem.
Right.
He got a teaching job up there, and we also lost Parker Wallingford. His job he's working. You know, he was not a teacher or didn't work at the school, so the job he had was making it hard for him to get there.
Right.
So he wasn't able to do it this year. So we picked up Austin Roberts, who's an Eastern alum, played quarterback for Eastern before I was at Eastern. taught the last couple of years at Salem, and now we got him down in Eastern teaching, and he's helping coach. He's helping me with the defense. And then Brant Ferris, a young kid that graduated a couple of years ago. It's Darren Ferris' son.
Right.
Coached for us for several years as well. He coached West Washington and Mitchell and some other places. So Brant's got a football bloodline, and he's been helping us as well. He's a young guy, but he's getting right in there and helping out, which has been good. So It's been a good transition. Brad Moore and Chad Fleetwood have been with me for several years now, and they kind of keeping the core group together, and we all know each other well and have a good just good camaraderie, that good chemistry that has worked well.
Yeah. Now, are you guys going to be more of a speedy team, or are you going to be a size team, or are you going to be a good mixture of both?
We got a little bit of everything. Yeah. Honestly, last year we felt like a lot of teams wanted to, fill A and B gaps right now because they wanted to stop Braden, and we didn't have a great solution to that. We tried some things, but we put some things in place this off season where, we're going to attack every part of the field, and people aren't just going to be able to stack the box and try to, stop our inside zone. And, that's what we've been working on, and we feel like we got the kids that can do it.
Yeah, and, like I said, watching what I did get to see of your games last year, that I think that was where it was at, is that, they were focusing on stopping Braden up the middle, and once you get some size there, I think you're really going to be able to do some things with that.
Yeah, I mean, we have some more athletes. I feel like last year we relied on Andrew Adams heavily on the outside, and he did a tremendous job. But teams figured that out, and a lot of times doubled him and that kind of thing, and that made it hard. But I feel like we've got too many guys now that you're not going to be able to double guy or take one thing away. If you take one thing away, we're going to take what you leave us. And
right, because you're not going to just push you around in the middle there.
No, and I think that our experience up front helps us. Those guys, they come off and tell me things. They know different schemes that we use up front. That hey, coach, this will work. They'll come tell me, hey, this guy's line up here. I mean, they're just good about communication.
And that's a big part, especially from a lineman perspective. You've got to be able to know. And be able to relay to your coach that this is what's happening. Maybe we need to adjust here.
Yeah, so they're an experienced group. Defensively, I think is where we really struggled last year. I think we averaged 30 points a game, gave up, over 30. So that was really where we struggled. That's been an emphasis for us this summer. And part of why I felt like last year we were not very physical. We didn't like to tackle. So that's something that we've worked on, and we've been, practices. We haven't dialed them back. We've been going at it, and it's one of those catch-22s. You worry about getting injuries, but at the same time, if you don't hit, you're not physical, and you don't know how to tackle. So
right.
We've been tackling, we've been playing physical, and I thought it showed last week in our scrimmage. Our kids come out. The year before we thought Valley was more physical than us, and we took that to heart, and we practiced to be physical last week, and we tackled a lot, and I thought our tackling was better, and I thought our physicality was better.
Well, and you say that, and I don't think it was just a you problem, because it seemed like a lot of the teams around Southern Indiana, football last year, I seen a lot of arm tackling and a lot of not being physical. So I think that when you get that cured up, I think that's going to go a long way for you.
Yeah, and I think it's going to help. But I think defensively, it's just a mentality. We've tried to simplify things this year, not getting too fancy on defense. Just play your responsibility and supply the football and get 11 guys the ball and tackle. Play physical up front, and I thought we did better. In the scrimmage against Valley, they got 15 plays from the 40-yard line. We played from the plus 40 because they had done some field work on the other end. So in 15 plays, they didn't score.
Right.
Last year, we did give up 5 or 6 touchdowns in that scenario. So.
And I was going to ask you about that, if you got your scrimmage in this year, because I knew last year you guys weren't able to do that.
It was a couple of years ago. We didn't get it.
No, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it went well. I thought I challenged our defense and said, I don't want them scoring.
Right.
There's 15 plays, they're not scoring. And, I didn't just keep the same 11 guys in. We rotated 7 guys in with those other 11, and, we were able to keep them out of the end zone, and that was the goal. And that's something we were focusing on week in, week out, is we got to play defense.
Yeah.
And, this group's always been able to score. They were able to score points in middle school. We scored a lot of points last year, but you can't just score points and win. You got to stop teams.
That's right. You can't let them score as well.
And we gave up some late drives in games last year that we just couldn't get stops to win. And hopefully that is something we fixed.
Yeah, and working on those things with your defense and that whole keep it simple, stupid perspective, it can really help out, because some of these kids are struggling. With some of them play both ways and this and that. So simplifying it for them, I think, really can help them out.
Yeah, I mean, if they're thinking on defense, then they're already beat.
Right.
And,
it's got to be reactionary.
We want them to be, playing off their instinct, reacting to the ball, and just playing football. And The thing I thought last year, a lot of times we weren't lined up right for whatever reason, or we were slow reacting, and so we focused on, playing physical, tackling, and lining up right. And, we'll see how that helps us on Friday. I thought in the scrimmage we did well. Only a couple times we were misaligned, and that was just by a little, and I've been very particular about that. If you're supposed to be head up, be head up. If you're supposed to be in the 30, be in the 30.
Right.
So I think that it was better, and, that's something that's been a key for us is that, and the kids have taken ownership because they understand that, we put a lot of points up last year, but points don't always win games.
That's right. And that's kind of the proof. The proof was in the pudding last year. You guys put up a lot of points in some of these games.
Yep.
But you just got edged out in some of them too. And it's stopping the points is just as important as scoring the points. So you guys have your season opener Friday at home against West Washington. What are you expecting there?
West Washington's going to be a well-coached, fundamental team that's not going to beat themselves. Last year they came out, they were more physical than us, they tackled better than us, they made fewer mistakes, and they beat us. And, that's what we want to do. We want to come out and be physical, we want to tackle well, we want to be fundamental, and not make mistakes. We know we're going to make a few, but, last year it seemed like one after another, and it just took us a while to get going. At that point we dug a hole in.
Right.
Our kids are excited, and, like I said, we've worked hard, and we know that they're going to do what they're going to do, we're going to do what we're going to do, and we're more focused on us and trying to do what we want to do and doing it right.
Right.
Offensively, just executing and making sure that we're mistake-free, penalty-free, defensively, playing physical and flying the ball. And I think that's going to be the key for us because last year I felt like defensively we didn't tackle, we ran upfield all night, we didn't play very disciplined, and they just basically ran right down the throat.
Yeah, and you guys went from that loss in the season opener to the next week against Crawford County and shut them out.
Yeah.
And so looking at that, I know that you guys you're like I said, you're just right there.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think it's cleaning up some of those, those early simple mistakes and playing good, clean football.
And I thought week one last year we didn't get our offense going, and hats off to West Washington for the way they played to kind of force us to be that way. Week two, we were able to get the offense going, and we were able to keep it going, I think, for the most part of the season. Like I said, we got to get stops when we need stops, and, come out and have fun, play physical. We have an energetic group. These guys are always lively, and, I never have to get them fired up in practice. It's usually have to try to rein them in and, keep them focused because they're energetic and they're ready to play every day. And, it's a fun group because there were several years where it was like we had to fire them up, that kind of thing, and we don't got to fire these guys up. They're ready to go. They're ready to play, and seems like we've been beating on each other for a while. And
well, hopefully they'll carry that on and want to get out there and take it to somebody else instead of their buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a lot of that. You got to set the tone right off the bat, and if you don't have that energy, it's hard to get that tone going. Because once you get punched in the mouth with a touchdown coming the other way, it gets discouraging.
Yeah. And I thought we started on a bad foot last year. First play of the game, we get a false start.
Right.
And that just kind of
takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, snowball from there. And but I was, as a coach, I've always thought week one is a crucial week. It's pretty telling of how your season will go. And last year we struggled to stop the run week one, and we struggled to stop the run for the next 9 weeks. So.
Right.
Week one's always telling of, what you're made of and what you can do. And, we're ready to come out and have a good week one. And we felt like, last year, the year before, we've kind of let things get away from us and haven't really played the best to our ability. And, you always expect some struggles week one as far as just you're going to have a few mistakes and just iron out kinks and that kind of thing. But we just didn't feel like we really put our best foot forward and played well. And, we're hoping to do that Friday.
Right. Now, speaking of the boys, is everybody healthy? How's everybody looking?
Yeah, we're healthy. And, like I said, we've been beating on each other a little bit, but we've come through healthy and ready to go. And, like I said, it seems like we've been hitting on each other.
Yep.
And I could kind of feel it today. The last 2 days we've been, practice has got a little chippy.
And there's times where you're just like, all right, boys.
Yeah, and the chippiness, I don't mind because that means intensity's high.
Right.
And it's been pretty intense at practice because we've got some older kids that want to fight for some spots that they're not in right now, and they've really been pushing our starters, and that's very important because there's been a lot of years where we went from starters to number threes, and we really didn't get a scout look at all from an offensive standpoint or defensive standpoint. So,
well, and that also helps out with your depth chart. Whenever you're looking for that guy that can fill a spot when a guy needs a breather.
Yep.
That's really important.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be nice weather, which is not usually the case come first week. So, I think they're calling for a high around 79 to 80 degrees, and so that'll be perfect around kickoff. In the 70s, and I'm sure it'll be 100 next week.
Yep. All right, Luke. Well, I appreciate you coming in tonight, and it's good to actually get to sit and talk with you instead of the phone call. So
yeah. Well, I want to say one more thing before I go up here. Just prayers for Coach Motts. I've been praying for him and wishing him a speedy and full recovery, and a lot of us have been checking in on him and just praying for him.
Yeah, and I thank you for saying that, because that's something that's heavy on everybody's mind, and we're all kind of pulling for Brian there. So, all right, Luke, we will talk to you next week. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Party time is rolling on at McDonald's in Salem, Mitchell, and West Baden. Hosted birthday parties are continuing to gain in popularity. McDonald's birthday parties include goodie bags for each guest, a gift for the birthday child, meals with the choice of cheeseburger, hamburger, or nuggets, along with fries, choice of drink for each guest, a birthday cake, and ice cream. Now the Play Place is closed for an inclusive 2-hour private party. That's right, the Play Place closes down for the 2-hour event. Call event coordinator Renee Lewis at 812-788-0126 to schedule your party for Salem, Mitchell, or West Baden.
Come on out to the Salem Speedway Saturday, August 19th for the Walls Equipment Sales Cruising on the High Bank, presented by Ace Hardware of Salem. There will be 5 feature races: the Diesel Boys Gas Series Street Stocks, Mike's Muffler and Brakes Crown Vic Big Track Series. There will also be Salem Supercars, on-site plumbing, heating, and air Crown Vic Short Track Series, and the always exciting Red Ball Recycling Scrappers. The event will also feature a classic car cruise-in, whose cars will get to take laps around the half-mile at intermission, and it's dollar beer night. Spectator gates open at 3:30. Racing starts at 7. General admission tickets $15. Chair bag seats $20. Kids 12 and under are always free. For more event and ticket information, go online, salemspeedway.com, or call 866-2-GO-RACE.
Do you ever wonder what it would be like to live without hip or knee pain? Schneck Orthopedics and Sports Medicine's new procedure makes it easier than you think. We're proud to be one of the first in the region to offer Mako robotic arm-assisted joint replacement surgery. This latest advancement transforms the way joint replacements are performed. Mako allows your surgeon to provide you with a personalized surgical experience based on your specific diagnosis and anatomy. This means less soft tissue damage and greater bone preservation, less blood loss, less pain, fewer days in the hospital, and faster recovery. Taking a walk, riding a bike, and playing with your grandchildren. These are just a few of the simple joys in life. But for those with bone and joint pain, these simple joys are often too painful or unbearable to truly enjoy. With Mako robotic arm-assisted surgery at Schneck, you can get back to the activities you enjoy. Learn more at SchneckOrtho.com.
Back. I'm live here now with Coach Brian Glessing. He is the head coach of the Salem Lions now. Am I saying that right? Glessing or Gleasing?
It's Gleasing.
Gleasing, okay. I apologize.
That's okay. People can call it both ways.
So this is Coach Gleasing's first season with the Salem Lions. He's taken over taking over the head coaching spot. Looks like you're 120 over 109 in your 21st season overall.
Yep.
You came down here from Shelbyville, correct? But you've been all around Southern Indiana.
I've been all over the place. I spent the last 2 years at Shelbyville High School up in Central Indiana. Tried to build the program there. We made some progress, even though we didn't have the wins that we wanted. But before that, I've been all over the place. I was at I started off at LaVille High School up in South Bend for 4 years. That was back in the early 2000s, and then moved to Clarksville, took the Clarksville job for 2 years, and then Floyd Central for 11, and then bounced around a little bit, Jeffersonville, Paoli, Shelbyville. So that's where I'm at. I ended up back in southern Indiana with Salem.
Yeah, and, you know, southern Indiana just feels like home, doesn't it?
It does. My wife's from here, and I've lived down here. Other than the last 2 years at Shelbyville, I've lived pretty much my whole, you know, head coaching life, you know, since I was about 30. So I love southern Indiana, and I love everything about it.
Yeah, you know, and there is nothing like, you know, high school football, especially down here in the south of in Indiana. I think Indiana is mostly, for the most part, you think of a basketball state. And for the amount of love that football gets here in southern Indiana, it's just unreal compared to most other parts of the state. And we preach that this is a football family, you know, and you know, you have the bullies of fall, and you know, whenever we get together, no matter if it's playing against each other, playing with each other, you have that sense of camaraderie and family, and that's something that in past seasons we've you know, pretty well preached here at Salem. I don't know if you know much about me or not, but I've coached youth football here at Salem for about 12 years.
Okay, great.
And you know, so everybody on your list there, I've had hands on at some point. So you know, it's good to get to sit and I also do the color commentary on Friday nights, so it's good to get to watch these guys.
Good to meet you, and I'm glad to be here, and we preach the same thing. You know, football is family. You know, there's no other sport like it. There's no, you know, it's when it's 100 degrees outside and you're out there in the pads and everybody's struggling. It's kind of like going to battle.
That's right.
And you don't want to go to battle with your teammates, and you know, it's tough. But then, you know, years down the road or the Friday nights, that's when you get to cash your paychecks.
That's right.
That's what's cool about it. It's a great. There's no other thing can emulate life more than football. You get knocked down, you got to get up. You get knocked down, you got to get up. Oh, you're sore, you're tired, you're bruised, but you still got to go to work.
That's right.
And there's teammates counting on you to do your job, and that's what I love about it. There's a lot of moving parts to it, to a football program and to a football team, and everyone has a role to play, and that's pretty cool.
That's right. You know, and the amount of behind the scenes that you get with that, you know, parents helping out. You know, in Salem you have the linebackers and the Thursday night meals and things like that. That you know, that really brings together that football family.
Yeah, it's just the camaraderie, and as a head coach, you know, when my first year as a head coach, 21 years, you didn't know what you were getting into.
Right.
You know, and then after you figure it out, after a few years, you kind of get it the way you want it, and that's at Salem. The good thing about Salem is a lot of good things were already in place.
Right. Yeah, and that's something that, you know, with past coaches and past you know, alum and things like that, we really worked on trying to get that going, and that giving you the tools that you need. You know what I mean? So being that said, you guys we're going to go down to North Harrison on Friday night. And they put a real good whooping on us last year, but we kind of had that one coming because we put a real good whooping on them the year before.
Yeah.
So what's the plan?
Well, they're going to be a run-heavy football team, and we all know that.
Yep.
You know, and we're young. You know, we've only got 5 seniors, so we're really going to have to step up to the challenge, especially, you know, not just against North Harrison, but against a lot of those, you know, mid-southern teams that really are going to be good football teams. So it's going to be a good challenge for us coming out of the gate. I have high expectations for our football team. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't know. You know, I thought we came out of the scrimmage and we learned a lot and got a little bit better. And that's all we want to do. We want to get a little bit better each day. And, you know, and we're going to go out there and give it our best. And that's what I want from our kids. And if we can do that, then, you know, as the year goes along, we're going to get a little bit better each week. And that's what we want to be. Yep. And, you know, it just so happens we play North Harrison week 1, and they're going to pound the ball on us. They're going to be physical. And that's, you know, and that's probably where, you know, maybe we got a little bit more work to do.
Right.
I don't know. So
now, you know, like I said, I know most of these kids as you know, knowing them through the years of coaching them and watching them play here. One concern I have is our size up front. Are we going to be okay there?
Well, I mean, I'm a big believer in heart. You know, it's not size. You know, of course, you always want big kids. We've got a couple big ones. We got some guys that are over 215, but we got some small ones too.
Yeah.
But those are those guys are going to be just fine. It's going to take a while for us to learn. We're still learning the offense, still learning our new defense. So, but it'll be fine in the long run. In the short run, we got a lot of work to do. But in the long run, it's going to work out fine because I believe that heart trumps size.
Absolutely, and speaking of that, we've played Southridge several times in the last few years, and they're never big on the line.
Right.
They play a lot of misdirection, and you never know who's got the ball. But I remember watching them warm up the first time we went out there for sectional.
Yeah.
And I was like, where are their linemen? Finally, you realize that these little guys are there. So I mean, it's doable.
And we run a similar. We're going to run. We've installed a similar offense that what the Southridge would run. The kind of a wing T type offense is which is conducive to smaller linemen. Because you never know what you're going to get, especially at a smaller school, and you don't know if one year you might have 300 pounders, and the next year you got 150 pounders.
Right.
You just don't know what you're going to get, and so we feel the wing T is conducive to every year.
Right.
That's going to help our program.
Well, I mean, we know that we've got a lot of speed and a lot of talent in those backfields and our skilled backs and things like that. So if we can shove them in the right direction and get a guy in front of them, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, one of the things about the wing T is that it's kind of it's like pinning. You pin and pull, a lot of pin and pull, where you can just get in the way of people, and that can serve the purpose of a block. We're not really, we want to drive guys downfield and knock them over and do that, but if you physically can't do that, then you got to get in their way, and get your right angle, blocking angles and things like that, and that's what we focus on.
Yeah, I was a lineman whenever I played in school too, and if you can't beat your guy, get in his way.
Absolutely.
If you've got to die in the hole.
Right. Yeah. and that's football is just a game of angle a lot of times. You got to take correct angles.
That's right.
Cut people off. You got a chance.
Yeah, if you've got to make him change his footing, then you can do something with that.
You may not be able to knock him over, but you can get him, to pick a side and get him out of the way and get your head on the correct side.
That's right.
And there's a little hole for a back to get through.
Now, you said you're a young team. Are you going to have to put some of these young guys up there?
We're going to start a couple, 2 or 3 sophomores, I think. Right now, I don't think we're starting any freshmen.
Okay.
So that's good news, but that might change from week to week.
Right.
As some of these young guys progress, I really like our young guys. We got through the scrimmage, and a lot of our young guys played in the scrimmage, but we really like what they've got. They're hopefully, my philosophy's always been we don't want you want to play juniors and seniors.
Right.
That's how you win championships. You don't win championships playing freshmen and
right.
sophomores. You just don't. But but we don't have very many of those juniors and seniors.
Right.
So we're forced to play younger kids.
And every now and again, you get one of those freshmen that are just like Noah Dalton last year. I mean, he played a lot of varsity football last year.
Yeah. So that's and there's going to be a couple fresh. There's going to be a 1 or 2. You're going to start learning their names.
Right.
The community's going to start knowing who they are as freshmen here in a few weeks. But we're trying to get them into a JV game or 2 before we get them out there on that varsity.
Right.
That's the goal. But crazy things happen, and who knows what might happen on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, you're not always going to have a name that comes to mind is DJ Gilbert. He was a 4-year starter because he was a hoss. He was ready to go from day one.
Yeah.
So you're not always going to have that kid, but you might have one that'll step up mid-season.
Right. And it's. And you got to give the seniors a chance.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody, the upperclassmen have deserved the first shot, and if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, then that's great.
Right. And nobody wants to be a junior or senior playing the JV anyway.
Absolutely not.
So they're gonna try their hearts out.
So they get the shot. So.
Yeah. So is everybody healthy? Everybody looking good?
Well, you mentioned Noah Dalton. He's going to be out this first week.
Still with that shoulder?
He's got shoulder and. Got banged up a little bit this week in practice, so he should be back next week, hopefully, if not the following week. But that's okay. We're building, and we know he can play football.
Oh, absolutely.
So that gives what it does is just gives us another guy to get in there and get some practice in there. Another young kid get in there and get a lot of reps, so he's ready to go.
Yeah.
So I mean, we want him playing,
but we want him playing all season.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a team effort, and like I said, next man up.
That's right.
Next man up.
That's right.
Because injuries are going to happen. It's football. Things are going to happen. Next man up. Next man be ready.
Yeah, and I was just having the same conversation with Coach Luke Dean about that depth chart.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of forces that to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you've got to have that next kid ready to step up and take that spot.
Right, and, you know, and in small high school, you know, when you're a small high school, you got lower numbers, like we're 43 kids. Sometimes that means moving kids around, and they have to learn 2 spots. They have to learn 2 positions.
Yeah.
You know, and at this level of football,
you're going to have a bit of that playing both ways.
Absolutely, a lot of guys playing both ways, and you know, and the good news is that so are our opponents.
Right.
You know, so is North Harrison. So's Pekin Eastern. So's West Washington. So it's not like we're going to play Center Grove or somebody that they all have one-way players.
Right.
We're all going to be playing against 2.
Yeah,
most of our opponents.
You're not playing that 53 man roster.
Yeah. So most of our teams' opponents will be like that now. I know Charlestown's going to be real good. So
yeah. Well, you know, Charlestown, they're generally really good.
Yeah.
But they're beatable, you know, and it's just finding that weakness and exploiting it.
Yeah.
They don't have that great big kid anymore, so
exactly.
he was a threat last year.
Yeah.
He scared us to death.
Yeah.
So coming into all this, how do you feel about the community? Has the community been accepting of you? And
it's been wonderful. You know, it's been a breath of fresh air as far as everybody. You know, from the top down, and you know, from administration to teachers that I'm working with, to parents, to players, to community members, to the alumni group, to linebackers.
Yep.
I mean, you just go on and on and on, and you know, and it's just it is a thing. You can just tell it's a family thing, and
if you don't buy into that family thing, you know, if everybody doesn't pitch in and work, it breaks down.
Absolutely.
So
and one of the things as a head coach, you got to be the captain of the ship.
That's right.
And you know, and as a new coach, and I've done this a few times, the first few months, and I'm still in this stage, you're doing a lot of observing.
Right.
Okay, that's great. I don't want to do that in the future. I want to do that, you know, things that are going on, you know, like whatever it is, you know, and so I think like we get to November, December, not that I'm, you know, fast forward, but then I think we'll get things really rolling as far as our off season.
Right.
You know, because I've only been here since basically into May.
Right.
And so it's still, you know, everybody's still learning, and especially our kids are learning how to practice. That's a big thing.
Yep.
Learning how to practice.
Yep.
And practice is, you know, and we've had a good 3 weeks, but we've spent a lot of time just teaching how to practice. You know, a lot of our drills and going over drills and things like that, and why we're doing this and the reason why, and you get it in get it in their head of why we're doing it. Then they start realizing, oh yeah, we're just not out here to kill time. We're out here getting work done so we can get better.
Well, and in my experience, you know, and of course I was coaching little guys. It's kind of like herding cats at that stage, but you know, sometimes you've got different kids that you got to teach a different way. You know, you got to find a way to reach that kid.
Absolutely.
And you know, I've always been a big proponent of you've got to coach from your weakest link up. You know, so you've got to bring that kid up to the level of the others.
And you know, teaching and coaching has changed. Even in my 21 years. You know, when I started 21 years ago, it was different than it is today.
Right.
And I'm different. And you got to change with the times. It's just not, you know, you can't be, you know, Woody Hayes and Bob Knight type coaches. That's just not, and that's not my style anyway. But you just can't do that anymore. It's not. Kids don't respond to that.
Well, you've got to find that, you know, fine line between disciplinarian and buddy, because you can't be their buddy.
No.
But because you know, you got to find that fine line between discipline and, you know.
And I think our kids have figured that out. I'm pretty tough.
Yep.
I am a disciplinarian, but we do it in a way that you know, when practice is over, you know, it's over.
That happened in practice.
It's over. Right. We're going to start again tomorrow, or it's over with. You know, and as we're walking in from practice, hey, how was school today? And how's your family? How's this? That's what we want. You know, and then all of a sudden, you know, we forgot what happened, and that's great. Just learn from it, and we move on to the next day. We don't hold grudges or anything like that.
And that's the way it ought to be, you know. And like I said, in this day and age, you've got to find that fine line between that. And I think that's where success comes from.
Absolutely. Every kid's different. Every kid's different, and you want to motivate them to succeed and you want to get the most out of them. One kid might take being yelled at.
Right.
Another kid, you yell at them, they may quit.
And that's
I've had enough of that. I'm not. Yeah. So you gotta figure. And as a new coach, and not knowing the players, I know them now, but 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I didn't know.
Right. Having to get to know them and get a good rapport with them. And
who can I yell at? And who I can't yell at.
Right. So what do you hope to accomplish with the season? Of course, you want to win games, and you want to you want to do as best you can. But at the end of the season, whenever you're sitting back and you're in your off season and you're looking back on it, what do you want to be able to say was your biggest accomplishment?
Well, I think I've met with a lot of our parents and players, and I tell them, I want you to have a great experience. Whether we win all our games or whether we lose all our games, I want this to be the greatest experience of your life so far.
Right.
And, of course, winning helps.
Right.
Winning helps that, but even if we don't, I want it to be a great experience. I want, especially our seniors, when the season's over, to say, man, that was a great experience, and our football team's going to be real good in the future. Right. Because they're going on the right track, and that's what and I want those seniors to say, hey, we helped build this. We helped build what's going to happen here in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever. Even though we might not have the success wins and losses wise this year, I don't know. I don't know, but I want that. That's what I want. I want everyone to walk off the field and say at the end of the year and say, look out for the Lions.
That's right, and that's the end goal.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Well, it has been great to talk to you tonight. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we went?
I appreciate it. I'm going to leave you some information stuff here for you, and it's not quite all correct, but it'll give you a little head start. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the community at Salem and for all the prayers and thoughts for Coach Motzinger.
Absolutely.
And what he's going through this past week. It's been a very emotional time, and I learned a lot about the community last Friday night when they did the prayer circle.
Right, after the scrimmage.
After the scrimmage, and it worked. Believe it or not, the prayers worked. He's doing better. I mean, he's got a long road to hoe, but it was bleak there for a while, and the prayers worked. And the thing I said is, he is Salem football.
That's right.
He grew up with he's been the head coach. He's been assistant. He is Salem football. And when I've been visiting him in the hospital, he's saying, I wish he was sorry he couldn't be here.
Right.
That's okay. But we're all praying for him, and I just wanted to give a shout out to him because he is Salem football.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. All right, Coach. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank you very
I'll
much.
talk to you Friday night.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Bring on the garlic. Get ready for another epic event this summer with Papa John's new Garlic Epic Stuffed Crust Pizza. This is the third version of Papa John's Stuffed Crust Pizza. First there was the regular cheese stuffed crust, and then they added pepperoni into the crust. Now this pizza has garlic in 3 places: in the crust, on the crust, and in a cup with its special garlic dipping sauce. The pizza has a blend of cheese with garlic seasoning inside the crust and more garlic seasoning on top of the crust. It's available as a large pizza for just $13.99. Papa John's also has a garlic chicken pizza, which has a hand-tossed original crust with real cheese, vine-ripened Roma tomatoes, grilled all-white chicken, artichoke, roasted garlic, and fresh cremini mushrooms on a zesty garlic ranch sauce. Call 812-883-3369 to reach your Salem Papa John's, or stop in at the corner of Main and Hackberry Streets to pick up your hot, fresh pizza today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Don't forget to get your Papa John's for those Friday night tailgates. Order a pizza and tune into the game on WSLM 97.9 FM or WSLM 1220 AM or streaming on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter.
Get ready for the new school year with some custom school swag from Tees and Tumblers on the Square in Salem. The new school year and football season is right around the corner, and you'll want to come in and get your school's logo put on a variety of products to show your school spirit. Their back-to-school special is a logo tee of your choice with a tumbler for just $35. Located on the northwest side of the square, Tees and Tumblers offers a variety of pre-printed items, or they can custom make your items in the store. They have custom can koozies, air fresheners, and lots more. The possibilities are as endless as your imagination. Call 812-508-6199 or stop in and see the staff at Tees and Tumblers today.
You may have heard the kids chanting about favorite freebies at Holiday World and Splash and Safari.
Free stockings! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
But there are plenty of favorite first and onlys to shout about too, like soaring on America's only launched wing coaster,
Thunderbird!
the world's longest water coaster.
Mammoth!
In fact, we're the water coaster capital of
the world!
For summer fun worth shouting about, find your family's favorites with tickets at holidayworld.com.
This is Becky White from Wslm, and I'm here at the beautiful John Jones showroom in Salem, Indiana for the John Jones Auto Minute.
Are you ready for some football and fantastic deals on wheels? John Jones Auto Group is here to kickstart your season with unbeatable savings at all 4 of our locations. That's right, we're conveniently located in Salem, Corden, Greenville, and Scottsburg. Score big this football season and drive away a winner with John Jones Auto Group. Our dedicated team is committed to helping you find the perfect vehicle that suits both your style and your budget. Whether you're looking for a tough and versatile truck to tackle any challenge, or sleek and fuel-efficient sedan to zip through traffic like a star player, we've got you covered. Plus, don't overlook our certified pre-owned vehicles that offer affordable reliability. Get ready to do a happy touchdown dance because we're offering incredible finance options. Our finance team will work their magic to secure the best rates and terms tailored to your needs. Touchdown! And there's more. John Jones Auto Group is offering game-changing incentives, lease specials, and low APRs. Make this the perfect time to drive home a deal you won't find anywhere else. Don't fumble this opportunity. Visit John Jones Auto Group today at any of our 4 locations. Or you can check us out online at johnjonesautogroup.com. And remember, you see so many because they paid so little.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we are live. I'm here with Coach Jeremy Lowry. He is the head coach of your West Washington Senators. How are you doing tonight, Jeremy?
Doing great. How are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, we had a little discussion there between the break, kind of recovering from a motorcycle accident. So, you know...
well, you look good.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you should have seen me 2 weeks ago. I've gotten a lot of attention from, Baby Ruth and the Hey You Guys, and... You know, I got a lot of the sloth references because my whole side of my head was swole pretty bad. And that was mostly from my kids, so
right.
You got to be able to take that with a grain of salt. So, you know, we're back again, and you guys are getting ready to take a walk down here to East Washington and see if what we can get done again there this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you practice all summer, you work out all winter, and you blink,
and it's here.
And you play the scrimmage, you exchange tape, and now we're going to be playing. It's going to take off, and we're going to blink, and it's going to be November. Super excited about the opportunity in front of us Friday night. Eastern, well-coached football team. It's got some immense talent, some size, some skill guys that they've added, some basketball kids that they've added, a quarterback that can sling it around and distribute the ball, a nice, big, strong, athletic runner. You know, all those things, they make up a good football team, and we're going to have to be on our A game, and we've practiced well. We've had a great summer. We've had great attendance throughout the summer. Our kids have showed great work ethic and extreme character, and we're super proud of them.
Yeah, you know, and you were saying that I was just talking to Luke about that, and I felt like they were on the cusp of being a great football team all season last year. You know, there was a lot of games that they were right there in it. So I think if they're getting some things put together down there, they're gonna show you a little something different than last year, and I hope it's a really good football game.
Oh yeah, we expect a really good football game. We expect them to come out and be well prepared. And at this point, when you're starting a season, my number one concern, yes, I know they have a good football team. I know they're well coached, but we're going to worry about the Senators.
That's right.
And we're going to go out. We're going to try to establish our game and play the game we want, how we want the game to be played.
Like you always say, control the controllables.
Control the controllables. Understanding it's week 1, and crazy things sometimes happen week 1, and you got to be prepared for those crazy things. And at the end of the day, I'm very anxious to see our kids' character.
Right.
I know what our kids are made of. I've been around them for 3 years now. Going into year 3, we have some incredible kids returning. Are they good football players? Yes, they're good football players. But the thing that excites me is they're better citizens. They're better human beings. And at the end of the day, character always shines. Cream always rises to the top.
That's right.
And I feel really good about our group of seniors and our upperclassmen that have been through the grind with us.
Now, you're going to have a couple of personnel changes as far as your quarterback. You graduated your quarterback last year, right?
No, sir. Kim Chase is back.
Okay.
3-year starter at quarterback. He'll be leading us down the field.
There we go. There were some of those kids that we watched, because I got to actually go to your last game last year. I actually got to call it on the radio. The heart that those kids played with, it was just amazing to see what you're doing out there with those kids. And I always preach about football family, and whenever we get to this point, whenever it's fall, you really get to see what your football team is made of. And like you said, great citizens, great football players, and it helps whenever everybody buys in. Whenever the community's buying in, and being able to translate that to what you're able to do with your program means the world. And I know that you guys have got really good continuity out there. I've always applauded how well you guys put together a team.
Well, I'm blessed with a great coaching staff. There's 8 of us, and some guys that are just truly committed. They understand how to motivate young men. They understand that the foundation is trust, and we do a great job of building that trust. And to me, that's everything in today's athlete.
Right.
You want to get kids to lay it on the line for you, they got to trust you.
That's
it
right.
starts there, and I know that seems basic, but it's not lip service. You got to live it, and
right.
You got to stand up when times are tough, and that's the beautiful thing about this game. And the thing that always excites me is the challenge.
Right.
It's all about the competition and the challenge, and how you handle those tough times, and how you handle adversity. And those are the things we're really trying to be better at, and that we're growing at, and I really expect to shine in our football team.
Yeah, and you said that it's kind of you didn't want to feel like that cliche of the leader and this and that, but if you don't have someone out front that those kids are going to follow into a burning building, then it's not going to work. People have got to buy into the program, and having kids that are willing and able to put themselves on the line for what you ask of them really makes a difference out there. If kids aren't buying into it, or if they're just going through the motions, it just doesn't work. So you've got to, I know you don't want to be that, the quote unquote star of the show, but you have got to have, your kids have got to be able to say, hey, that's my coach, and I trust him with everything I've got.
Yeah, at West Washington, it's, yes, I'm the head coach, but it is a group effort. I mean, our coaches are invested, and we got a lot of guys that have been there a long time. Coach Gibby,
Yep.
Coach Gibby was just recognized for 30 years of service. 30 years at West Washington High School.
Yeah.
That's stability.
That's unheard of.
Yeah. Coach Dwayne Nance, 20 years. Coach Keith Nance, over 20 years. Those guys have been around a long time. Coach Patrick Burks, 10 years plus. That's stability.
Yeah.
And, I've always said from day one,
that's got to be humbling for you.
Oh, West Washington, it's a great place. It's a special place. We have extreme support in our community. We have commitment from the top down, from the inside of our school, which I think is vital. We have great facilities. And, my job, they were playing football long before I got to West Washington.
That's right.
And they're going to be playing long after I'm gone.
That's right.
My job is to be the caretaker. And I take a lot of pride in that. And we're going to put a product on the field that our community's proud of. And we're going to support our kids. And our kids are going to play hard. And we understand that they're going to make mistakes.
That's right.
We've never asked our kids to be perfect, and we're not going to. It's what we're going to do is we're going to ask them to be tough. And tough for us is two things. Physically, can you give us everything you got?
That's right.
If you give us everything you got, that's tough enough for me. And then mentally, it's removing all the distractions that keep you from giving us everything you got.
Absolutely.
And those are the things we work at every day. Obviously, we're working a lot of football stuff too. But, we've been hitting the fundamentals hard. I'm anxious to see how it all starts coming together as far as offense and defense and stuff like that because, we're always going to stress the fundamentals. I never want to make the comment that we got to get back to fundamentals.
Right.
Because we're never going to leave them.
You should always be there.
So those are the things that, and really when it comes down to, especially early in the season, those are the things that as a coach make you sleep better.
That's right.
You take care of all those other things, and you know what? It may not be perfect offensively, it may not be perfect defensively, but if you're taking care of all those other things, you're going to fall into the end zone a couple times, and some kids are going to step up and make tackles and things like that. So that's the key. You got to be fundamentally sound, and your kids got to give it up. And,
that's right.
And, want to go compete. And the biggest part of competing anymore is you can't be afraid to fail.
Right.
You got to have trust in the people around you so you're willing to put yourself out there and truly dive in with no fear of failure.
So speaking of that, no fear of failure or fearing failure, you've got some kids that are going to be trying to step up here. Have you got any standouts that you think are going to really blossom as the season comes on?
We got a lot of kids we're really excited about. Our like I said, our summer attendance was really, really good. Our kids have done everything they're supposed to do. We have a lot of guys returning that were with us a year ago. Do we have some holes? Yeah, we have some holes. I don't know many teams that don't have holes this time of year.
Right.
But we feel confident that we have answers for that, and we got kids that have been working hard and they're filling in. And I just really like how it's all coming together, and the camaraderie is there, and that's what you need to be successful. And I could go on and I can name a lot of guys, but that's really not who we are. You go watch the Senators play, and there's going to be 6 or 7 kids touch the ball. We like to have 2 to 3 guys over 100 yards,
right.
Another 1 or 2 over 50. We like to distribute well.
It doesn't make sense to have all your eggs in that one basket.
Absolutely.
So especially whenever you're relying on one guy and he goes down. So it's having it spread out and having that depth, and it's just smart football.
Absolutely, and it gets kids excited. The most important thing at the end of the day is that we have one more point than the opposing team. And we don't get into a lot of stats and who's got this many carries or who's got this many yards. As long as we got one more point at the end of the night, I would say the biggest stat that we look at West Washington, other than the final score, is the turnover ratio.
Right.
We're going to preach taking care of the football, and we're going to preach taking it away on defense. And,
right.
Our goal is always +2. We feel like +2, we win. And we work at that, and we work at that daily. And like I said, that's the one stat we do get pretty crazy about.
Very good.
And obsessed with. But other than that, you know what? We really don't care who gets in the end zone as long as we get in the end zone.
That's right, and that's what matters. You can't score points when the other guy's got the ball. So, taking care of that ball, and like you said, at the end of the day, whenever you're 1 point ahead, that's what matters.
We got kids that can play. I mean, we've got skilled kids that can run. We've got kids up front that are going to get in the trenches and they're going to compete. And all that other stuff, we'll let the chips fall where they may.
That's right. And Coach, I have no doubt about that. Well, it's been good having you here tonight, and I appreciate you coming. And I can't wait to get into the season with you again.
Thank you. Really appreciate your time and appreciate everything you guys do.
Good to be back here at McDonald's, huh?
Well, I tell you what, it's special for me.
Yeah,
a lot of memories in this place.
Yeah.
And two of my favorite things, McDonald's and football.
Right.
I'm sitting there looking at this Coach's Corner sign, and I can remember us putting that thing together and designing it, and looks like the same sign to me. So,
yeah.
It is special, and this is a special place. And while we're on that, Coach Motzinger,
absolutely.
My thoughts and prayers are certainly with him. Coach has been a huge part of my life, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for him. And I know he's going to pull through. I know how honored he is.
That's right.
And how much fight he has in him. And I'm just looking forward to seeing him out and around again.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're certainly all praying for him.
All right, thanks, Coach. Yep. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back with some nightly inspiration.
Communication is important on the football field just like in life. That's why Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Jason Petmeyer wants to get to know his customers. Whether it's auto, home, life, farm, or business insurance, Jason will listen to you and help you create an insurance plan to match your needs. Call Indiana Farm Bureau agent Jason Petmeyer at 812-883-2995 or stop by his office at 813 South Jackson Street in Salem. Jason Petmeyer is a proud supporter of the Salem Lions.
After a joint surgery, injury, or illness, Meadowview and Salem Crossing are the best choices for helping you recover. Our Moving Forward Rehabilitation Program offers a full range of therapies. We're here to help you return home safely with the skills you need to live life on your own terms. Meadowview and Salem Crossing, two great options for your rehabilitation. To learn more, visit asccare.com or call 888-996-8272.
The NTT IndyCar Series is back at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
David Malukas goes to the high side by side between turns 1 and 2.
He's going to sweep around the outside and make that pass. David Malukas streaks around Scott McLaughlin.
Joseph Newgarden with a strong finish. He goes to victory lane for the third straight year, winning
the Bollarito Automotive Group 500. Live this Sunday on this IndyCar Radio Network station.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and like I said, wanted to put out a little bit of our nightly inspiration. And normally this is the part of the night where I'll come up with a quote from someone and relate my thoughts on the subject. But tonight, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the football community. We had a couple recent health issues around the football community. Last year we had Coach Adam Humphrey with his heart transplant, and now Coach Motzinger and his medical issues. And I just this community comes together when they need to be, and things get dicey sometimes, and people are in dire straits, and this community, Washington County, comes together. And like Coach Lowry was saying, if you've been in this county, you've been touched by Coach Motzinger and his coaching. And like I said earlier, I've kind of had my own mortality put into perspective. I was in a pretty bad motorcycle accident a couple weeks ago, and miraculously I didn't get that injured, and I'm healing really well. and the outpouring that I've had personally from the community, people checking on me and making sure that I'm okay, and it really speaks volumes to what we like to call football family. And that goes beyond just football. It just speaks to who these people are in this community, and I feel like we, as a community, as a county, we have some of the greatest people on the planet here. And for the amount of outpouring that we've had for Coach Motsinger, and like I said, people reaching out to me, making sure that I was okay, I really appreciate that. And it just goes to show you that people's hearts are in the right place generally. You hear about all the bad things in the world all the time, and I don't want to harp on that stuff. I would rather tell you a story every week about how the communities come together to help out, or just some random things going on in the community that people are coming together and working together on. And it just warms my heart to see the amount of people that actually care and actually put forth effort to reach out and make sure somebody's okay. So we're getting into our favorite part of the year. Football season is upon us, and we're going to go out there and we're going to play hard and we're going to be competitors. But at the same time, we're going to be human beings. Just like Coach Lowry was saying a minute ago, he's got good citizens out there, and I think that carries on throughout the county, if not Southern Indiana. I really enjoy the way football is played around here, and I really enjoy getting to watch these kids become the next generation. We had several of our football players that joined the military, and they've all been through their prospective training and are serving in our military now, and they are upstanding citizens, and they're paying back what those years of their youth league coaches and their middle school coaches and their high school coaches put into them. So you always say that you're raising the next generation, and it really looks like we are raising a better. We want them to be our betters, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like a lot of the kids from this community, from this county, are absolutely going to be that. So, to all you out there that support the local football, the radio station, for all the broadcasts, the teams, the parents, good on you guys for helping and trying to better the community. And that's really all I've got for tonight. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your night to listen, and I appreciate these coaches for coming and sitting and talking with me. It's been a great, like I said, this is my third year, so it's been a great couple of seasons doing this, and I hope to continue doing it, and I really enjoy it. And I will, if you are a Salem fan, you'll get to hear from me on Friday night, and if not, then I hope to see you back here or hear you back here on next Wednesday at 7 o'clock live from McDonald's. You guys have a great evening.
After a joint surgery, injury, or illness, Meadowview and Salem Crossing are the best choices for helping you recover. Our Moving Forward rehabilitation program offers a full range of therapies. We're here to help you return home safely with the skills you need to live life on your own terms. Meadowview and Salem Crossing, two great options for your rehabilitation. To learn more, visit asccare.com or call 888-996-8272.
Be sure and set your dials to WSLM 97.9 FM and 1220 AM next week for Coach's Corner Live. Brought to you in part by Salem McDonald's. To get a front row seat into local high school sports here in the WSLM Sports Zone.
Tell everybody, if you're going to get one, get a two-seater, because you always want that partner with you.
Yep, always.
Oh, that's so much fun.
5-2, Reds leading Cleveland. We're in the fifth. The pitch. And there's a bullet on one hop off the glove of Votto to a knee. Gathers, throws to Abbott late. And Straw beats it out. It'll probably go as a hit for Miles Straw on a one-hop bullet right at Votto. Let's look at tonight's scoreboard stumper. It is presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka. For every Reds RBI at Great American Ballpark this season, Love Tito's will donate $50 to the Reds Community Fund, which is dedicated to improving the lives of youth through baseball, and already over $10,000 has been generated to support this mission. That is going to go as an error on Votto, so it's an E3.
Well, hit in his glove.